So, if you clicked on this video, I'm assuming you want to know how to get more story views on your Instagram page. Well, if that is you, then you're in luck, as in this video, I'm going to be exposing how I went from getting 1.5k story views on average on my page of over 150,000 followers to getting over 10,000 story views consistently on the same page. And I'm going to be giving away the exact strategies and templates that I use to get these amount of story views. So make sure that you pay attention and that you stick around until the end so you don't miss out on these. I'm also going to be giving away some highly engaging stories for free somewhere throughout this video. So once again, make sure that you're paying attention and that you stay until the end so you don't miss out on getting those free stories that you can go and use for your own pages. So first of all, stories like Reels and posts do also have an algorithm. However, the stories algorithm is slightly different to the algorithm for Instagram posts or Reels. So as you would know, stories appear on your followers' home feed and they're almost in a list from left to right. If you're on the top of the list or the left, you are a lot more likely to get story viewers than if you're on the right near the bottom. This is due to the fact that your followers will have to go through a lot more stories to be able to even be given the chance to see your story. So now we know how that works. How does Instagram decide where to put you on this list? You might assume it's due to having the most recent story, however, that would be wrong. And this is how the algorithm for stories comes into play and how it decides whether you get more or less story viewers. So if your story has a lot of people skipping past it, not really engaging with it, clicking off the feature in total, then this is going to be a bad thing and it's going to make your story perform worse and make it go lower down on that list. However, if you have a lot of people interacting and engaging with the story, maybe watching it and then clicking back to watch it again, or just staying on your story for a longer period of time, then all of these things will be seen as a positive by the algorithm and it's just going to push it higher and higher up that list on your followers' feed, which is going to allow a higher percentage of your audience to see your story, obviously resulting in more views. Now, how do we go about creating stories that are going to get more people to engage and stay in it for longer? Well, this is where I can help you because I've done loads of experimenting with my own pages and also I've spoke to loads of people that have done experimenting on their own pages. Firstly, your first story that people are going to see is the most important story of the day. If you can get people to engage with this story and just get it pushed out to more people and get as many views as possible, then this is subsequently going to mean your other stories will have a knock-on effect of getting more views. However, if this story doesn't get a lot of views and doesn't get a lot of engagement and doesn't get pushed up the feed, then subsequently, once again, this is going to mean your other stories are going to be more likely to get even less views. This is especially important to note if you're trying to use your Instagram page as a business or to make money through the stories feature, as you want that first story to be really engaging, really helpful, one that people are going to interact with. So in that way, it can funnel through onto the next stories where you're maybe going to then sell people. Secondly, how do we create a story that is going to have high engagement, high watch time, high interactions, so that way we can get more story viewers? Well, this is going to be different depending on if you're a personal brand, a theme page, and also the niche you're in. However, there are a few key things that are going to help whether you're a theme page, a personal brand, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go over those in this section right now. So first of all, you want something that people can interact with, whether that be a sticker that people can interact with, whether you're pushing people to press the like button, whether you're using a poll. A poll is probably the king of this and I have found the most success with when trying to get views on my story. As for one, people want to see what the poll percentages are and you can only see that by clicking on it. And two, a lot of people want to express their opinion. Secondly, music can have a really positive impact on your stories as it will keep people more engaged with a story and it might get them to watch a bit longer, which is then subsequently going to mean you get more story views. Thirdly, you want to have an entertaining story, whether that be something that people want to see the result of on a poll, whether that just be the story itself, a video or something that is entertaining. This is just going to keep people watching the story and is going to help, once again, the story get pushed higher. And finally, you want to give people a reason to stay on the story until the end. Whether this be maybe a fair bit of text on the screen that they have to read through, but if you are going to do that, you need to make sure that they get hooked in straight away. Whether this be a video that has promise of something at the end, just need something to keep people watching that whole time to get more engagement on the story. I'm going to put up on screen next to me an example of a story that has done really well for me and my pages. The reason this story has done well is because one, it is satisfying and entertaining. It is coffee being poured into another coffee thing. Two, it has a good song and good music on it. Well, I can't really show that because I'm talking and also I don't want to get copyrighted. Thirdly, it has a poll on it, which gets people to give their opinion on whether they think it is real or fake, which is just going to farm engagement. And finally, it gives people a reason to stay on it until the end, as it hooks you in straight away because the coffee is going straight into the other cup and people want to see what the end result is going to be like. So they stay on it until the end, which is once again going to get this story pushed up, which is why it performs really well for me and my page. A lot of people don't know this, but you can check your stories on the Instagram Insights. This is something I really suggest you to go and do, as it will give you a really good idea of maybe what stories do well, what stories don't do well, and you'll probably be able to see a lot of the time a common theme, whether that is all your best performing stories having a poll, whether it is all of your best performing stories having some type of music. But it will give you a good theme that you can then go and use to create your own story strategy to get more views. You can do this by pressing the three lines in the top right corner, going into Insights, and then setting it to stories only. With this feature, you can actually go and look at all of your stories over the past 2 years and see which ones maybe perform well and which ones didn't perform so well. So that way you can see what your followers engage with and what they like. You can also check a lot of other metrics. So if you're trying to sell something and you want to check which type of stories get more link clicks, you can check that. You can check which stories get clickbacks, which once again is going to boost your engagement and get you more story views. So this is also something you should pay attention to, whether maybe it's a certain type of video that people want to watch again because it's valuable, whether it's a certain type of post that's entertaining. It will just help you get an idea of what people want to click back on and watch again. So if I show you some of my best performing stories on my insights, we'll be able to see that a lot of them follow the same sort of trends. Firstly, most of them have polls on them. That is, once again, to farm engagement and helps my stories get pushed out to more people. Secondly, some of them might even have the same video, like the coffee one I was talking about earlier. And thirdly, a lot of them follow the same format. If it is not a video or not a certain type of video, it might be a certain type of post or a story post that follows the same type of format. Another thing that I did do to try and get more story views is take advantage of things that are popular in the sort of news and that everybody is seeing. So for example, the Logan Paul vs Dylan Dennis fight, everyone's eyes were sort of on that card. A lot of people were talking about it, which gave me an opportunity to get a lot of story views on my stories if I just gave people the opinion to vote on it. A lot of people had an opinion on it, whether what Dennis was doing was right or wrong. A lot of people had opinions on Logan, but it's just meant that that story got a load of engagement, a lot of people voting, which obviously led to a lot of views. So that is a point you can take away from this. Whenever there is something that is big in the news or something big that's going on, try and maybe make a story about it and see if you can use that to get more views. Another thing that Instagram takes into account in terms of the algorithm for stories is how much you interact with people. So make sure that you're replying to as many DMs as you can, having as many conversations in DMs as you can, or replying to as many comments as you can. The reason this helps is because if you interact with people, Instagram think you're sort of friends or you know each other, which then means they're going to be more likely to push them your stuff as they think you're friends, they'll want to see your stuff. This just means that those specific people that you interact with and talk to, you are going to be higher up on their story feed. This is a point that is going to help your Instagram page all round, but it will even help your story. So make sure you are replying to DMs, trying to have conversations in the comments and in your DMs as well, to try and get your stories more views and even get your reels and your profile more views. So in conclusion, if you want to get more Instagram story views, the main thing you need to focus on is having an interactive and engaging story that is going to keep people on it for longer. You can do this by using any of the strategies we have talked about in this video, but just applying this simple point, I'm sure you will see a skyrocket in your story views. At the start of this video, I mentioned about giving away some stories to you guys that you can go and take and try for yourself. So I've put a folder together of some stories that you can test out. It'll be linked in the description. These stories should be highly engaging. Just make sure that if there are like polls on them, obviously if you just upload the video, people can't click on the poll. So if there's polls and things on them, just put your poll on top of that poll. Now when it comes to stories, the amount of followers you have does really impact the amount of people that view your story. So if you're at the point where you don't quite have that many followers to get loads of story views, then I suggest you go and check out this video over here, as I give you some tips on how you can grow your Instagram page. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, as I post weekly videos helping you grow your social media. Apart from that, I hope that you found this video valuable, and I hope that these strategies can help give you that boost that you've been looking for in your stories, and I'll see you guys in the next one.